All right.
All right, I always enjoy the this is your opportunity to get out the button from the recording being started.
What do you mean?
It says this meeting is now being recorded.
Oh,
You either
yeah.
click dot it or leave the meeting.
Do you want to back out?
Yeah, this is your chance. Get out now before you say something dumb.
So I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant. So I'm gonna go ahead and just lead this one for you because you retouched on a topic that upset me yesterday, talking
Pretty
about
good.
your own personal insurance portfolio with me. Um, Kind of to couple with our recent talk about affordability of, you know, everyone thinks the economy's bad and your point of view is whatever, right? I've made more money this year than I've ever made before, and that's not a lot. I'm in a comfortable spot. Our budget's fine. Our spending is low. And then I deal with clients who are like, I can't deal with this increase. It's outrageous. My insurance went up $1,000. You break that down, we're looking at $130 a month difference. You can cut $130 out of your spending somewhere, unless you're living in the negative. So let me get on my rant. Let me get on my soapbox here. Unless you're living in the negative. In some of these situations, they're like, well, it needs to be lower, else we're going somewhere else. It's like, well, that's not really how this industry works. You're going to go somewhere else, you're going to be lower, you're going to get screwed on the back end. I'm going to use the client yesterday as an example. She's got a roof on that house. She's got no idea when it was replaced. She's got no idea how old it is. She bought it last year. No one could tell her. So, in my opinion, that's two bad real estate agents that were involved in that transaction, and a homeowner who didn't care, and an insurance agent who didn't tell her it was important. Her policy went up $1,400. She keeps screaming at me, it's $2,000. It's not. I know that's still a big number, but it's not. Don't yell two when it's 14. It's a big difference in the budget. $600. I tell her, chances are we're not going to have anything cheaper. She tells me, how am I supposed to afford my house? I'm not a doctor. Well, you bought in October 2023. Mark, if you'd like to chime in, what were the average rates in October of last year?
Not low.
Probably high sevens, eights sometimes.
Yeah, that's probably getting close to the peak time. I can pull up a chart while you're talking. I just had one up the other day.
So we've got a lot of red flags here. She was lied to about affordability. She bought at a bad time. Real estate agents didn't put her in a position to be in a house that she could do work on. So my suggestion is we can go to a 3% deductible on your house, but that's only going to increase your out of pocket. Your roof is anywhere from 7 to 10 years old. It needs to be replaced at some point. So do you want me to reduce your payment? Do you want to go find something that's $1,400 cheaper? Or do you want to pay an additional $5,000 when it's time to replace that roof? She was not put in a situation to be successful, and she's blaming me as the incumbent agent. I'm going to have to go elsewhere. And I told her, you can call whoever you want to call, but I promise you they're going to have the same numbers I do. Your roof is old. Your credit is helping dictate this. I don't know what your credit is, but it
Well,
just is what it
okay.
is.
So let me rant. I like rants. And I'll show you the rates too, because you're right. You're dead on. I mean, that was right at the top. So real estate agents, whatever kind of people, experts, professionals that are supposed to be advising during the process. Obviously, during COVID, everyone jumped in the market. You had tons of agents, I'm going to say agents in quotes too, over the last couple years that are no longer in the business now. That thought that it was real estate is an easy thing, mortgage is easy, insurance is easy. I'm just going to collect a bunch of money. I'm going to go on all these vacations just like they're doing on TikTok.
Hmm.
That's the disease of real estate sometimes, is just because you can get paid on a check. One check might be more than months and months of a check at the job you're used to doing. Lots of teachers were leaving teaching and getting into real estate because they saw opportunity, but you have to work at it. I mean, it's a stressful time for mortgage people still right now because especially right now when we thought, oh, rates were coming down, we're finally going to make some money again and refi and blah blah blah. Well, rates went right back up, and
Yep.
so there's work to be done. You have to grind in and out. It's a profession, and I think I just saved a deal for an agent today because the client didn't understand, and they called a listing agent in the house they wanted to see. And I think there's some questions about whether or not the buyer rep stuff from the NAR lawsuits have been being followed very well across the board. And so you gotta stay in front of people. You gotta stay top of mind. Otherwise, they are going to leave you and they are going to buy into the bait and switch. They're going to bite that bait that we've been talking about episode after episode. And so, yeah, you talking about bad agents is uh what's the word triggering for me because boy, there's been some bad advice and representation over the last few years, and it's really, really, really important that you dig into the data. Now, on that lady though, I feel for her because $130 a month or whatever difference sucks. And I have been battling my escrow company on a rental property of mine, and they have all these rules that they never tell you about. And unless you do the research, you dive in, you learn about property taxes, you learn about insurance, you learn about escrow and then mortgage as well, and figure out how all of those things come together, you are going to be confused. So don't take it on yourself. Get a professional that is with you, not just after, before when they're trying to make a check, but after as well.
And that's the difference, right? I mean, it may have felt like a great win for this homeowner and the agent and the mortgage lender. We got a transaction done. She got in a home in a time we didn't think you could buy a house. Well, maybe you shouldn't have bought it
Well, a lot
because
of times too,
in
those bad agents were really pressing people, and I think bad mortgage people as well, really pushing volume and giving somebody something like a down payment assistance loan. Another rental I have is having issues with AC over and over and over again. And what if I lived in that house and I had $130 a month payment increase because of insurance, and I had bad AC problems, with no real help in sight on inflation or anything else, bringing the numbers back down. And I got into this home only a few months ago with a down payment assistance loan, and I'm still living check to check, but now I have a house and maintenance. The person who shoved that down payment assistance loan in their face, whether as a realtor incorrectly talking about mortgage to try to get another closing, or a mortgage company not really truly advising someone on, hey, here's what's going to happen once you hit your first payment to when you hit your 1 year anniversary. That's the real problem that we've been facing. And that's what happens on a national scale and why we have all these affordability problems is no one looks down the road. They're looking right now to try to solve a problem. And most people's problems is how do I get this deal closed so that I can make money right now to meet my next thing that's going up in my own world. Thank you very much, client, but I'm going to go deal with my issues now and kind of forget about you. So that mindset is too prevalent in the industry.
this is bad planning. I mean, it comes down to, especially now when I deal with new home closings. Look, you want the cheapest rate possible, and that I want that for you. Because honestly, the cheaper I can get it, the happier you are, the longer you're with me, the more money I make. That's just transparency for you. I get paid for my job. But if you can't afford your deductible right after you close, you need to rethink this. That's just that simple. If your deductible is $8,000 out of pocket, something happens to your house and you got to pay 8 grand 30 days after closing,
Yep.
can you do it?
Uh,
I lost you. I don't know if it's me or you all these times, but I still move. Do I move on your side?
yeah.
You're frozen.
Typing
Think we got to hardwire you into the modem.
chat.
Got it. Now you're moving.
I texted you.
Yeah, now you're moving super fast. It's catching up.
Are we caught up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Read my text. Read my text. Read the chat.
I read it.